Hello and welcome to this edition of Bia Deas. Today I'm going to show you how to make my favourite bacon and cabbage pie. So for the bacon I've just got some lardon or it's like pancetta, some diced onions, some shredded cabbage, some parsley for my bechamel and some cheese to go on top, and then we've got some pre-cooked new potatoes. So you see I've left the skins on. I just think it gives it a nice texture and retains some of the vitamin C, but that's a personal thing. So what I did was I just got a whole potato and then pre-sliced it into pieces about that thick. Okay? So now I'm going to show you how to saute this off and then add the cabbage, and then we'll make that mixture, and then I'll show you how to make the bechamel, and then I'll layer it and we'll see how it all turns out. Okay. Okay, the pan is nice and hot. It's just got a little bit of smoke rising off it, so that's how you know it's really hot. We're going to add the pancetta first. You hear that sizzle? Just going to stir it around. The good thing about the wok is it gets really hot and cooks really fast. Also, you got loads of space for mixing things in, which I quite like. So just going to keep stirring that. Okay, you'll see this is nicely cooked down. So I'm just going to add my onions. Hey! Okay. So you're just going to stir this all around, making sure all the diced onion is nice and dispersed throughout the bacon. So you're just going to let that cook for about another 5 minutes, and then I'll add my cabbage. Okay. Okay, now you'll see that the onions have become nice and translucent here, so that's good. We're just going to add some cabbage. Now this is going to look like a lot of cabbage, but it will actually cook down quite a bit. So there's my cabbage, shredded cabbage, and then a sprinkling of some salt. Now the bacon is quite salty, so you don't need to add that much to it, so this will cook down in about 5 minutes again. So just leave that to cook away on the high heat and stirring just to mix the hot ingredients through. Okay, you'll see that this is cooked down nicely, but the cabbage is still green, so we still want it to be quite green here, so it has a nice bit of a bite to it still. Okay, so this is ready to come off, and now we're going to make our bechamel. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make bechamel. Now you can make this in a saucepan, but again, I just like the wok because it's hot and things melt quite fast. So we just want our butter to melt down. I'm going to turn back the heat because it's a little bit too hot. So we're just going to get this butter to melt. I don't want it to burn. I'm just going to keep it nice like that. Okay, so it's just melting down nicely, and then we're going to add some white flour to this. Okay, so once it's all melted, you see there's still some little bits here. Okay, that looks good. So now we're going to add some butter in. This is called making a roux, so we're just making some traditional roux, and then we'll add some milk to this, and then we'll use this as a sauce to layer in between the potatoes and the bacon. So you see this is cooking nicely. You want to give it a couple of minutes doing this, because otherwise you'll get a grainy taste of the flour in it, which isn't very nice on the palate. Okay, so that's just bubbling away, and I'm just going to add some milk to this. Blending a little bit at a time. Ooh, that's looking quite good. You can always get a whisk at this as well if you're finding it's getting a little bit lumpy. Just needs to come back up to temperature. In the meantime, I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And I've got a dissolved vegetable stock cube, which doesn't look too pretty going in, but just gives it an extra boost of flavour, which I think is quite nice. Okay, so we're just going to wait for that to bring to the boil, and I'm going to run and get a whisk. So I've got my whisk. Let's just get all the lumps out of it and bring it to the boil. As this is bacon and cabbage, and traditionally in Ireland we'd say that we serve it with white sauce. So this is the base of the white sauce, and then I'm going to add some parsley to it. So I've got some freshly chopped parsley. So once this comes up to the boil and I add a little bit more milk, I'm going to add some fresh chopped. It's just very roughly chopped, so of course you could do it finer if you want, but I like kind of the rustic look in it. So I'll add a little bit while I'm waiting for this to cook up. And then you can sprinkle some more over it when it's ready to be served. So I'll show you the layering of the pie in a minute. Okay, you can see I've added now about a pint of milk. It's quite runny, but for this particular dish I like it quite runny, and I've added quite a bit more parsley. So you can see it's like that. So now we're going to bring it over to the table and I'll show you what to do. Okay, I'm going to show you how to layer this pie and how to put it all together. Now my hands are clean, so I'm going to pick up some potato and layer it. I have washed them, I promise. So I'm just going to roughly layer it around like this. Sometimes if you're just doing this with making a traditional French dish, you would you would sprinkle salt and pepper over every layer, but with this here I'm just going to put them in roughly, and this mixture is all seasoned already, so I'm going to sprinkle some of the bacon and cabbage over it, just lightly like that. Get all the flavour in there. I'm just going to push it out to the side. So one of the reasons you want this sauce is quite runny is so that it fills all the little holes and gaps in between here. It mightn't be the most attractive dish in the world, but it does taste really good. Okay, so that's layer 1 down. Now we're on to layer 2. So we're just going to sprinkle these around like this. See that I overcooked my blanched potatoes slightly, which isn't the best, but we're going to do our best. Now we're going to keep that parsley out of there. And then we're going to sprinkle one more layer of this on. Press it down nicely. And we're just going to pour some more sauce. So it's a bit similar to how you would layer a traditional lasagna, but just with different ingredients. So try it out for yourselves. And then we're going to sprinkle some cheese on top liberally. This is just a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar cheese. Of course, good Irish cheddar. I'm not sure where mozzarella came from. It says mozzarella rather than mozzarella style, so I'm guessing it's authentic. So there we have it. Now I'm going to pop this in the oven for about 25 minutes at 180 degrees. So there we go. Okay, I'm just going to show you quickly how you can make an individual portion one for the freezer. So again, you put in layer 1 here. Oh, I'm quite a messy cook, as you can see. I'm going to put that in there. And we get some more white sauce, lovely deli. Some more of this put over. And of course, some of this mixture on top. Pack it in. Okay, that might be a little bit funny. Naughty me. There we go. And again, some cheese on top. You can pop that in the freezer and it'll keep, and you can have it another day. Okay, so let's wait and see how it turns out, but that's how you do it. And there you have it, my cheesy, sizzling cheesy bacon and cabbage pie. And now to serve, I just sprinkle some parsley over it. So you just cut it in slices and serve with a nice salad. Bon appetit!